everyone, how are you all? And welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we are going to talk about medical termination of pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases, which are also known as STDs. So let us now begin with our first topic, that is medical termination of pregnancy. Medical termination of pregnancy, which is the intentional or voluntary termination of pregnancy before the full term, and it is also called as induced abortion, that is expulsion of fetus from mother's uterus. Now our estimates show that nearly 45 to 50 million MTPs are performed in a year. Around 45 to 50 million MTPs in a year worldwide we are talking about. And in India, this figure averages around 15.6 million MTPs in a year. In India, this figure averages around 15.6 million MTPs, that is medical termination of pregnancy a year. So earlier in India, laws related to abortion were restricted and were only allowed if the condition of mother is fatal. And these things changed after there was significant increase in the population. So the reason government looked over this medical termination of pregnancy is because there were increase in population. Yes? Now, this concern called for liberalization of abortion law. So people started saying that this abortion law should be liberalized so that these various conditions that we see that increase in the population, or if the mother's condition is fatal, so these things can be looked after. So now under Shanti Shah committee, which was held by our government, yes, in around, I guess, 1964. So under this law, finally in year 1971, our government of India legalized MTP, that is the medical termination of pregnancy, but with strict conditions. Now yes, MTP has a significant role in decreasing the population, though it is not meant for that purpose. It is not solely meant for decreasing the population, but it also looks after if the condition of mother or the condition of fetus is healthy or not. So yes, such restrictions were also there to check if there is any indiscriminate or illegal female feticide happening around the corner, either in the world or in India. So now here comes the important question. Why MTP? So it is performed to get rid of unwanted pregnancy, which may be caused due to casual unprotected intercourse or failure of the contraceptive used during coitus or in case of rapes. Now MTP is also essential in certain cases where continuation of the pregnancy could be harmful or fatal either for the mother or to the fetus. So now according to the MTP performed is considered safe during the first trimester, that is up to 12 weeks of pregnancy. But the second trimester of pregnancy for abortions are much riskier. But one disturbing trend that was in the rise in India is that the majority of the MTPs, that is medical termination of pregnancy, which are performed illegally by the unqualified quacks. Also, another dangerous trend is the misuse of amniocentesis. Amniocentesis means to determine the sex of an unborn child. And if the fetus is found to be female, specifically, if the fetus is found to be female, the MTP is performed, which is illegal in India or anywhere in the world. So such practices are dangerous for both mother and fetus, and this should be avoided at all the cost. So these unhealthy trends can be reversed easily by effective counseling of parents by the qualified doctors on the need to avoid unprotected coitus, and it can also be done by making them aware about the risk factors that are involved in illegal abortions. Also, by providing more healthcare facilities, this unhealthy trends can be reversed easily. Do you know unprotected intercourse can also lead to various kinds of diseases if the partner is infected by one, which is also known as sexually transmitted diseases, which is the diseases or infections transmitted through sexual intercourse are collectively called as sexually transmitted diseases, or they are also known as venereal diseases or reproductive tract infections. So the various sexually transmitted diseases are gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, chlamydiasis, genital warts, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B, and AIDS. And HIV is most dangerous among all because it targets the immune system. It targets the immune system, and as we know that our immune system helps in fighting various kind of diseases, and because it targets the immune system, so it weakens the people's defense against many infections. Now, about which you are going to study in detail in chapter number 8. Some of these infections like hepatitis B or HIV can be transmitted by sharing injection needles, and they can also be transmitted by transfusion of blood, and it can also be transmitted from an infected mother to the fetus. It can also be transmitted from infected mother to the fetus. Now, let us see again that hepatitis B and HIV-like diseases can be transmitted by the injection needles or surgical instruments, etc. with the infected person, or it can be transmitted by transfusion of blood, and it can also be transmitted from an infected mother to the fetus. So, except for hepatitis B, genital herpes, and HIV infections, other diseases are curable if detected early and also treated properly. Now, early symptoms of these diseases are minor, which includes itching, fluid discharge, slight pain, and swelling in the genital region. Alright, this also happens that infected female may be asymptomatic and may also remain undetectable for a longer period of time. And because of this, the less significant symptoms that we're talking about in early stages of infection, it deters the infected person from undergoing any treatment or even detection. So this could lead to the complications later on, such as pelvic inflammatory diseases, abortions, stillbirths, ectopic pregnancies, infertility, or even the cancer of the reproductive tract. Do you know STDs are a major threat to a healthy society, and prevention and early detection and also cure of these diseases are given prime consideration under the Reproductive Health Care Program, that is RCH program. Now, all the persons are vulnerable to these infections, but it is reported higher in age groups of 15 to 24 years. But their prevention is also possible by following just simple principles, such as to avoid sexual intercourse with unknown or with multiple partners, and use of condom during coitus, and also to go to the qualified doctor for early detection and complete treatment of these sexually transmitted diseases. So yes, this was all about MTP and STDs, and now you can study them in detail from EduRev notes also, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.